If anyone knows what this shirt is from, please tell me, because I found it at a Goodwill and I really like it. I'm wearing spooky contacts because it's Halloween, the month of Halloween. So just in case you're new here, I am really into these things called BJDs, ball jointed dolls. There's an entire community for them on the internet and they're really freaking beautiful. But in the BJD community, there are these things called face-ups. People will take the heads of these really expensive dolls and then they will paint them to look absolutely beautiful. These dolls are beautiful works of art and they range anywhere from like $200 to $500. They're gorgeous. The entire BJD community is incredibly crafty. There are people who will sculpt their own dolls. There are people who will make and sell clothing for them. You can make and sell wigs for them. And then born out of that community naturally, because you want to practice a bit before you dive into painting this really expensive thing, are doll repaints. There is an entire community on YouTube of people who do doll repaints, specifically with Monster High. Monster High is very popular. They're just like ball jointed dolls in that they're very flexible. I am going to do a repaint on this doll's face eventually, but this is not the Monster High doll that I'm going to be painting today. Instead, this is the Monster High doll that I'm going to be painting today. This is Gillette Jellington. Gillette, Daughter of Unknown. I believe that most Monster High dolls are about 11 inches tall, but this one is actually 17 inches. Just realized how off her factory paint is. At a point, Mattel released a line of frightfully tall Monster High dolls, so you can get a couple 17-inch dolls, but I believe this one is actually not part of that collection. This doll's whole thing is that she's a gigantic unknown creature. She's also very circus themed, which I enjoy. A long time ago, I repainted an Anna doll, which I still have the body of. I don't remember what happened to her head. Oh, her head's right there. It's on my desk now. It was my first face-up ever. I didn't have the right equipment to do this. It came out terrible. And now that I have watched hundreds of doll painting videos, I have a better understanding of what I'm supposed to do to make it come out not awful. So that's what we're gonna do today. But the first thing that we need to do is open this box. Partially so that I can include the tags unboxing on this video. Unboxing children's toys. Okay, let's go ahead and open her up, shall we? It says, Killer Style. Being somewhat larger than Unlife makes it impossible to buy clothes. Read her full bio and diary inside. Interesting. I just want to throw out, I really like how clever the packaging is. This like broken glass effect is really kind of clever. This thing is really cute and I would like to keep it if possible. Let's figure out how to break this apart without actually breaking it. That's cool. It comes with a stand. Nice. This thing is really cute. That's cute. Her shoes are so cute. They're like these carousel horse skeletons. It's adorable. Okay, that was an ordeal. So I think these I'm gonna keep. This is just trash. I like that they even made her ears melty. That's kind of cool. So when I first saw this doll, I thought she was the daughter of the wax figure, and I thought all this melting was because she was made of wax. I do like the dripping, but part of me wants to see if I can sand it all off, but that might end up being too much work, so I might actually color it and try to take advantage of this texture. We'll see. So the first thing we need to do in this process is to remove her factory paint. And for that, I'm going to be using some regular nail polish remover. However, because I'm not completely sure if this is the right kind that I need, I'm going to be testing it on this other Monster High doll head that I got at a yard sale. You know, I could have Googled this beforehand. So it turned out that I actually had the wrong type of nail polish remover, and I ended up having to go back to the store to get 100% acetone nail polish remover, which removed the factory paint so much more easily. From what I was reading online, the 100% acetone can actually erode the material that the doll is made out of, so it was important that I went over all of the areas as I cleaned them with a wet magic eraser, just to make sure that there was no paint and no acetone left. Next, I took some plastic wrap and I wrapped both the body and the hairline of the doll because I was going to be working with a matte finishing spray and I didn't want it to get in any of those areas. Now I'm using my chalk pastels and a paint palette to create the dust that I'm going to be using to color this doll. I chose a variety of yellows, pinks, and browns, but before I can do anything with those chalk pastels, I need to lay down a layer of matte finishing spray. The first thing that I did was put down a layer of peach color, and I just kind of covered the entire face with it and then used my big fluffy brush to dust off the excess. This is just a foundation layer, so I'm not really adding any kind of definition to it yet. Then we add another layer of spray finish and move on to the next layer. I actually started by highlighting the forehead with a layer of white, and then I contoured the cheekbones with a darker brown. My big fluffy brush is very useful because not only does it brush off the excess, but it also helps to blend out the chalk pastels that I just placed. Contouring a doll's face is very similar to contouring makeup. It's all just painting with dust. I tried to add a layer of contour to the underside of her chin, but you'll see later that it may have been a bit too much. I also tried to go outside of my comfort zone and use a very saturated orange tone on the inner corners of her eye, which I just ended up covering up with brown. And then I used that same dark brown to contour the temples and blend it out. Blending, blending, blending. Here I'm using a little bit of white to highlight the nose, the area under the eyebrows, and her chin, as well as her forehead and her cheekbones. After that, I went in and added a dark brown around her forehead to try and contour that area, as well as a dark brown on the inner corner of the eyes. And then it was time for another spray finish. I went ahead and added a little bit of black chalk pastel to the insides of the ears as well as behind the jawline. I tried to blend it out as much as I could because I realized I put a little bit too much. Here I'm putting a little bit of coloring in the lips before adding another layer of spray finish. When I came back inside, I added a couple highlights on the top of the brows, on the nose, on the chin, and on the upper cheekbones, as well as the forehead. And then I went over it with my fluffy brush to blend it out and dust off the excess. The red that I used on the lips felt a bit muddy, so I added another darker shade, and then I tried to blend it out as best as I could, as well as a small dark spot under the nose. The coloring on the nose started getting weird, so for some reason I thought maybe if I applied it with my finger it would work better. It did not. Don't do that. You just get pointless oils on your doll. At this point, I started to try and contour the underside of the jaw, and I just added way too much dark pastels. So I ended up trying to brush it all off and mix it with lighter pastels. It just wasn't working. Highlight on the nose, highlight on the ears. Oh yeah. And highlight the forehead. Try and brush off all the excess and add a more saturated color for contouring. So right here I went in to highlight the forehead but forgot to clean my brush, and so I just put a massive dark spot right in the middle of her forehead, and then I panicked and tried to cover it up with more light pastels and brush off the excess. I ended up trying to completely re-contour the forehead because of that. Because her hair is pink and yellow, I thought that yellow eyeshadow would make the most sense. A little more red color for the lips and another finishing spray. So when it comes to the final layer of my doll repaints, I actually cover the entire thing in a single light chalk pastel to help everything kind of just blend together. It softens the highlights and the contours a bit and makes everything just kind of unified. The final spray will actually counteract that. I did really want her eyeshadow to pop a bit more, so I decided to go over with a yellow and an orange on her eyes. One final brushing of the excess and one final coat of spray finish to seal everything together. From there I can remove the plastic and get ready for acrylics. Personally, I like acrylics because they're water soluble. Because this is just a practice doll, I decided to go ahead and paint over the eyes rather than cutting them out and inserting the plastic ones like other BJDs. Oh look, dog ears. Painting this was requiring so much focus that I didn't capture it on camera as well as I might have liked to, so sorry about that. After I laid down the whites of her eyes, I went in and added some of the texture to her lips, and I decided to go with yellow eyes to match both her eyeshadow and her hair. I made sure to paint the entire iris before I even started to add the pupil. Her eyes look so open without the eyeliner. I gave her a couple little wings just because I like the way that the wings look. The majority of the eyebrows I actually ended up having to do off camera just because they were so difficult and I had to hold the doll so close to my face. And then the very last thing that I did was that I went over the eyes and the lips with a layer of gloss finish Mod Podge. And this was just to add a final layer of shine. In case you have not noticed, my makeup and shirt have changed because it's the next day. And the reason I'm filming this now is because that took 6 hours. Close-up shot of this mess. Funny thing, this is actually a Barbie shirt. I have been debating on whether or not I want to cut off all of her hair and just give her wigs. I'm not sure yet. I am probably going to be posting random pictures of this doll to my social media. I feel like given how much this doll has changed, Gillette doesn't really seem like the right name anymore. So if you can think of a better name for her, let me know. You are not Gillette. She almost looks kind of like a cheerleader now. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I'm gonna give you 500 awesome points because this video was a freaking event. Also subscribe if you want more weird content like this. Have a happy Halloween. Bye. All of you sit, stop bumping the table. Yes, you.